Hey gang, this is Mike with my real estate dojo, and today I want to do a comparison about gold versus depreciating assets like a car or TV or laptops. Okay, some people say, "Hey Mike, you spend your money stupidly buying, for example, let's say some expensive, gold bracelet like that." Um, but then I go inside of their home and I see that they have all these cars, or they have, big screen TVs in every room, and they have video games and PlayStations and all these furnitures they bought from these expensive places. And I wanted to do a good comparison, because for sure, if you're spending money on like gold rings and stuff like that, it's not a really smart move. And if you're spending money on depreciating assets, it's not a really smart move. However, when you compare depreciating assets like a car versus a gold bracelet, I'm going to show you right now why you're going to come ahead by buying gold jewelry versus depreciating assets. So again, I'm going to show you right now. I'll give you some legitimate arguments why owning bracelets, gold necklaces, in reality is going to help you have a better resale value than depreciating assets. For example, whenever I bought a car before, let's say I bought my 2011 SL 550 Mercedes Benz, it cost about $119,000. Just about 3 or 4 years later, the car had depreciated so much money. I mean, so much money. And today we're in 2007, and I'm trying to sell the car right now to buy an electrical car. And the car's roughly worth, people are willing to, I've been offered anywhere from $20,000 to $26,000, all the way down to $19,000. So, for a car being worth $119,000, this is a top of the line Mercedes-Benz dream car, convertible, fully loaded. I mean, it's just a dream car, guys. It was my dream car. And for that car to today, what, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, in 6 years, it has depreciated over $100,000, okay, in 6 years, which is wow, dude, wow. And then it doesn't even include the repair and maintenance the car needed, and nor did it include the insurance the car needed. But some people say, well, Mike, you needed the car to drive X and Y to buy your vehicle, buy your real estate or have a job. So, okay, let's talk about a TV, or let's talk about a laptop. I bought a laptop from Apple. It cost me $1,500. And just a year later, 2 years later, if I try to sell it, I maybe be lucky to get 50%, okay, of whatever the property purchase price was. And if it's just 5, 6 years old, I mean, I might only be able to get $102 out of it, $100 to $200 max, even though I paid $2,000 for it. And if I have something that's not popular like Apple, let's say some, other laptop that's not popular like an E-Machine or a Gateway or Dell or whatever, then I'm not even going to get that much for it, guys. Okay. Now, so the point I'm trying to simplify it is that when I buy depreciating assets, even though I might enjoy it and love it and use it, or I might just buy it and not use it that much, it could be like new. When I try to sell it, I'm not going to get much money for it. And that's exactly why insurance companies, make shitload of money insuring your car, because you think you have full coverage, but by the time they pay you the loss for it, they're paying you cash value, which is a lot less than what you bought it for or what your loan is. Now, if you compare a depreciating assets to, let's say, gold jewelry, which is still a stupid investment, you'll get to see that gold jewelry versus these depreciating assets is a hell of a better purchasing spree than buying clothes or shoes or TVs or laptops. So if you, for example, I just bought this bracelet. It cost me a decent amount of money, somebody's salary for 1 month worth of work, if not multiple months. And so I buy this, let's say, well, let me talk about jewelry before I go into my debate. Jewelry, for example, is not as great investments than gold. Like if you invest in gold and you buy coins, or if you buy rounds or bulletins, whatever they're called, or bars, it's way more better investment because you're just paying for the actual substance, for the gold itself. Where when you go into, let's say, a jewelry or a ring or a necklace, not only do you have to pay for the substance, which is the gold, but you also have to pay for the craftsmanship, the handwork, because that gold is just the raw material. Somebody needs to have the tools, which cost money. Somebody needs to have the experience and skills which require them to go get an education that costs money, to transform the raw material into a jewelry like this or like this, okay? So when you buy a jewelry compared to gold bars, you're gonna pay two costs. You're gonna pay for the material, the gold, and then you're gonna pay the craftsmanship, the labor involved to make this, package it up, sell it to a retail or wholesaler, then the wholesaler sells it to the retail, then the retail has to have a storefront, get insurance, have to pay credit card, employment, all these taxes. So by the time me and you purchase one of these things, we're paying at least 2 or 3 times the value of whatever the actual substance is. And that's why I say jewelry is a bad investment in a sense of as an investment. But if I'm in this video, I'm comparing jewelry versus depreciating assets, and I'm going to show you right now why this is a better investment, even though it's not really a good investment. But if you compare it to, for example, a car or nice furniture that you bought from Haverty's, or or your newest headphone that you bought from the Beats or your Apple, or all this bullshit stuff you buy for 10-20 bucks, you'll see that those things, they'll depreciate. They're not going to be worth anything when you try to sell it just a couple of bucks. But your gold jewelry will, at the very least, retain the value of whatever the spot price is for gold. And what the spot price is basically the fair market value per se, just like real estate when the realtor runs comps, a CMA. So at the very least, your jewelry is not going to depreciate like these other things, okay, like a TV or a car. At the very least, it's going to hold the spot gold price, okay. However, if you look back in history, you can see that over time, for example, if I buy this and I hold it for 10 years, that more than likely the spot price is going to go up, just because the Federal Reserve in all the countries are printing out fiat money like crazy, which causes inflation, which means that this thing is going to keep going up and up in price, not because there's a demand for it, which is point number 2, but the actual printing of the money, okay, which makes the value be more. Just like if you have a rental house, the rents go up every year, especially if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, because of inflation. And that's why rental homes is a great hedge against rental, just like gold investing. But to make the point of why gold jewelry is a better investment, or scratch that, a better shopping spree than buying new furniture, buying new clothes, is because that at the very least, the gold material that's in here is going to preserve its value, and it's actually going to go up in price over time just because of inflation. Point number 2, if there is a demand for gold, or if there's an economic, mischief, then a lot of people and investors rush into gold, which then shoots up the spot price for gold, or the fair market value, and it's going to increase the gold value. So your jewelry now is worth more than what you paid for it, okay, theoretically. And the reason I say theoretically is because you got that labor, okay? Um, now, whenever, for example, in 10 years, I could go sell this jewelry, this bracelet, and probably get more money for it than what I paid for it, okay? Now, when I go sell it to, let's say, a pawn shop, which I'm not going to do that, but if I did, they're going to try to strip away the craftsmanship part of it. So they're probably just going to give me for the material parts. They say, hey, this they'll weigh it. They say this is 18 karat. Has this many grams or ounces of gold, and the spot price is this. I'm going to give you this. So they're going to try to eliminate the fucking labor cost of it, okay? And that's where I have to start negotiating, let them know, hey, dude, well, this is not just a slab gold, just like, for example, a car. I could get a bunch of raw materials, just like a house. I have a raw materials, a bunch of raw materials. Well, the raw material itself is not that expensive, let's say, but having it all come together, having all these plumbers and inspectors and construction workers come together in harmony and work, that costs a lot of money, okay? Same thing with a car. Having, the plastic just sitting there in raw material, like the gold, it's not going to just become a car. You got to have the infrastructure, the factories, the brain power, the people to make everything come together. Take the natural resources and then funnel it through and have a final product, which that final product is going to cost more than the raw material. So that's where the argument or the negotiation would come into, and I would take it to places that were going to respect and honor the craftsmanship, because they understand that, hey, just take an ounce of gold doesn't make you a bracelet, okay? Now, but that's where jewelry takes the hit, because it's a negotiation of, hey, well, I think this thing craftsmanship is $1,000 bucks, where the other guy says, no, I think it's only worth 100. Okay, so that's where the what if comes to play. But the thing that's 100% certain is how much gold is in this, okay, and the spot price. They can distribute that, because that's what it is. That's what the fair market is. So simply put, I believe in my heart that if you want to have a shopping spree, or instead of buying shoes and Gucci's and stupid purses and Reebok shoes and Nike shoes that cost hundreds of dollars that depreciate, you're better off buying gold, okay, for yourself, for your kids, in gold jewelries, as versus buying depreciating assets. But if you're looking as an investment wise, then definitely don't buy gold jewelry, because you're losing some of your money. I would say at least like 33% to 50% towards the craftsmanship, the labor to construct everything together. Okay, so in my opinion, I did buy a lot of goofy stuff, but in a sense it's an investment, because I see a lot of other people buying a lot more goofier stuff, like, for example, Gucci and stupid shoes and stupid belts, and going and drinking, spending their money on bottle services, and going to all these stupid fucking events that they have around, and and buying all these depreciating, like they have 10 sets of golf clubs, or hey, I'm not saying don't buy shit that you're not going to use. Like, for example, I use a bicycle, I use it, I got the best one. I do camping, I got the best stuff. So yeah, I'm going to use that. But I know so many people that have so much more than what they need. Like, if you go in their home, they have so many different things. Just like, for example, my own mom, if you go to her home, she spends so much in decor and the wall, and statues and vases from China, and I mean all kinds of stuff, right? And those things cost a lot of money. But the reality is, if she tries to sell any of this stuff, people are probably going to pay her 10-20 bucks. And so she's lost her wealth and energy in obtaining these material things that made her feel good, but if she really tries to sell them, or she's in an emergency, she needs the money, and she's gonna realize that nobody's gonna pay her shit for this, man. Like 10 cents on a dollar, 20 cents on a dollar. Vice versa, if you had the gold, you at the very minimum you're probably gonna get 50 cents because, like I said, 33 to 50% is gonna go. The cost of this thing is workmanship, and the other 50% is just gonna be the material substance, which is the gold. And as we spoke, if you hold on to it for a longer period of time, just inflation itself is going to increase the selling price of the 50% substance, which is in this case gold. So that that was a quick, comparison between buying silly gold jewelry versus buying stupid depreciating assets like TVs, cars, golf clubs, shoes, clothes. They're just very, very expensive, but really lose their value. And if you ever try to sell it, you're only going to get 10 cents on a dollar. All right, guys, if you like these videos, please tell your friends, family, and please like and leave a comment. Thank you so much. And go out there and hustle and bustle, and don't take no for an answer. See you again.